welcome to the Explainer. Look, I get it. The idea of filing your taxes online here in Bangladesh can feel, well, a little overwhelming, right? But you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to demystify the entire e-return process for the 2025-26 assessment year. We'll make it simple, I promise.
It's that time of year, and for a lot of us, that means a bit of tax season anxiety. You open up the portal, you see all these different boxes and confusing sections, and it is so easy to feel lost. But here's the thing. It's actually a super logical process, and we're going to break it all down together, step by step. Let's fix this.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through the entire e-return portal in just 6 simple stages. Think of this as your roadmap, guiding you all the way from the login screen to that final, satisfying submission click. By the time we're done, you are going to be ready to file with total confidence. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the basics, then jump into declaring your income, maximizing rebates, listing expenses, declaring your assets and liabilities, and finally, the big finish, calculation and submission. Let's get to it. All right, Section 1, getting started with the basics. First things first, we're looking at that initial assessment information page. Now, I can't stress this enough. Getting this first screen right is absolutely crucial. It really does set the foundation for your entire return.
So on this first page, you're just confirming a few key details. The assessment year should be 2025-26. The return scheme, don't worry about that. It'll automatically say self. Now this next one's important, residency status. You'll want to select resident if you're a citizen living here. Why? Because non-residents face a much higher flat tax rate of 30%. Ouch. Then you'll say yes to claiming a tax rebate if you've made investments, and yes to the IT-10B requirement if you own a car or your wealth is over 50 lakh taka. But there's one question here you really have to pay attention to.
Okay, listen up, because this is a super common trap. The question is, do you have any tax-exempt income? Now, you might think no, but the system recognizes 36 different types, things like pension funds or gratuity. If you have any of them, you have to select yes right here on this first page. If you click no, that's it. The system literally locks you out of that section for good. You won't be able to go back and add it later. It's a critical first step.
All right, with that initial setup done, we're moving on to the real heart of your return, declaring your income sources. This is where you tell the government where your money came from.
Now the portal lists about 10 different income categories, but don't let that scare you. You don't have to worry about all of them. You just tick the boxes for the ones that actually apply to you. You know, your salary, maybe some rent you collected, or interest from your bank account. As soon as you tick a box, it opens up the specific form you need for that income source. Simple as that.
And you know what's great? It doesn't matter what kind of income it is, salary, business profit, whatever. The process is always the same simple 3-step formula. Step 1, select the source. Step 2, enter the total gross amount you earned. And Step 3, report any tax that was already deducted at the source, what we call TDS. That's just the tax your boss or your bank has already paid for you. Easy.
Oh, and speaking of income, here's a really key update, especially if you're a landlord. Pay close attention to this. If you've been holding on to a tenant's security deposit for more than 5 years and you haven't adjusted it against their rent, that whole amount can now be treated as taxable income for this year. That's a huge change, so it's a super important detail to keep track of. Okay, we've declared our income. Now for the fun part. Let's talk about maximizing your tax rebates. This is how you can legally lower the amount of tax you have to pay. So, what's a tax rebate? Basically, it's a reward for your long-term savings and investments. We're talking about things like your life insurance premiums, putting money into a DPS, or even investing in the stock market. You just list these out, and the system does the math for you, calculating a rebate that chops down your final tax bill. It's a no-brainer.
All right, next up is your personal expenses. The system wants a breakdown of your cost of living for the year. Pretty straightforward stuff, you know. Food, rent, utilities, school fees, travel, the whole shebang.
Now here's a big pro tip. You've got to be realistic. The system is literally designed to check for a logical flow of your money. So think about it. Your total expenses can't possibly be more than what you earned minus what you saved or invested. It just wouldn't make sense, right? Everything has to add up.
Okay, let's tackle the section that often scares people the most, declaring assets and liabilities, also known as the IT-10B form. I know, it looks complicated, but I promise you, it's just a simple balancing act. It's like creating your own personal balance sheet. Think of it like a set of scales. On one side, you put all the money that came in this year. That's your net wealth from last year, plus all the income you just declared, plus any new loans you took out. That's your sources of funds. On the other side of the scale, you put where all that money went out. That's your personal expenses for the year, plus the value of any new stuff you bought, like a car or some land. That's your application of funds. And guess what? The two sides have to balance perfectly.
And that brings us to the ultimate goal here, getting the final difference to zero. You'll list all your assets, property, savings, gold, cars, and any debts you have, like loans. You just keep putting in the numbers until the money inside perfectly matches the money outside. And if there's a little bit left over that you can't account for, no problem. You just declare that as cash in hand to make it all balance out to a perfect zero.
And just like that, we're on the home stretch. We're at the final calculation and submission. After all that data entry, the system pulls everything together and gives you the complete picture. What you'll see is this fantastic tax summary. Think of it as your final report card. It shows your total income, the taxable portion, that awesome rebate you got, credit for taxes you've already paid, and the bottom line, the final amount you either have to pay or maybe what you're getting back as a refund.
We are at the finish line. The last few steps are super straightforward. 1, you're going to review everything. Click that View Return button and give it a good look over. 2, if you owe anything, you'll pay it online or with a challan. 3, and this is important, make sure you update the payment section with your payment details and any TDS to get credit. And finally, number 4, you get to click that Final Submission button with complete confidence. You did it.
So are you ready to take control of your finances? Because that's what this is all about. When you break it down like this, filing your e-return isn't some scary chore anymore, right? It's actually a really clear way to manage your financial responsibilities. This is more than just paying taxes. It's about understanding your own financial story. We really hope this guide helps you file smoothly and with zero stress.